Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our English Learning Podcast. I'm so glad you're here with me today. I really mean that. Sometimes we get so busy trying to learn more grammar or vocabulary that we forget one important thing. Language is emotional. It's personal. And today, I want to talk about one of the most frustrating and emotional parts of learning English: forgetting words while you speak. Let me start with a question. Have you ever been in the middle of a conversation in English, maybe with a friend, a coworker, or even just practicing alone, and then suddenly your brain goes blank? You know what you want to say. You can see it in your mind. You even know you've studied that word before. But for some reason, you just can't remember it. You stop. You feel uncomfortable. Maybe you laugh nervously. Maybe you get quiet. Or worse, maybe you just give up and switch back to your native language. If that sounds like you, first of all, you're not alone. Really, this happens to everyone. Beginners, advanced learners, even people who've lived in English-speaking countries for years. And yes, even native speakers forget words sometimes. But I know it can feel frustrating. And sometimes it feels like a sign that you're not good at English, or that you're not making progress. But today, I want to help you see things differently. In this episode, I'm going to take you through this experience, forgetting words, in a deep and honest way. We're going to explore why it happens, how your brain actually works when you speak, what you can do about it, and how to stay confident even when things don't go perfectly. I'll also share some habits that you can start today to remember words faster, speak more fluently, and feel proud of your progress. Let's begin. So first, let's talk about why this happens. Why do we forget words? There are many reasons. One of the most basic reasons is that we simply haven't practiced the word enough. Maybe we saw the word in a textbook. Maybe we heard it in a video or podcast. Maybe we wrote it down in a notebook. But if we haven't used that word in real life, if we haven't said it out loud, or used it in a sentence, or spoken it in conversation, our brain doesn't know it well enough to pull it out quickly. It's kind of like meeting someone once and then trying to remember their name a month later. Unless you've seen them again, talked to them, heard their name a few more times, your brain doesn't think it's that important, so it forgets. And speaking is very different from reading or listening. When you read or watch something in English, you're not under pressure. You can pause, go back, think slowly. But when you're speaking, especially in real time, especially with another person, there's a kind of pressure. You're trying to think, listen, build a sentence, remember grammar, pronounce words correctly, and do it all fast. That pressure creates stress, and that stress makes memory harder. Have you ever tried to remember something simple, like where you left your keys when you were already stressed or running late? Your brain just says, nope, not now. It's the same with speaking English under pressure. And for many of us, there's also fear. Fear of making mistakes. Fear of looking silly. Fear of not being understood. That fear makes the brain freeze. So even if you do know the word, even if you've studied it 10 times, your brain might hide it because it's too busy protecting you from embarrassment. That's your brain's job, survival. But it doesn't always help when you're trying to speak another language. So now that we understand some of the reasons, let's go deeper. What's actually happening in your brain? Imagine your brain as a huge filing cabinet. It has millions of files, pictures, words, sounds, memories. When you learn a new word in English, your brain creates a file for it. If you use the word often, if you speak it, hear it, Connect it to other words. Your brain moves that file to the front, where it's easy to find. But if you don't use it much, the file gets pushed to the back. Then, when you're speaking, your brain quickly runs to the cabinet and says, I need that word. But if the file is in the back, or if the brain is under pressure, it might not find it in time. That's not failure. That's just how memory works. The good news is, we can train our brain to make those paths faster, stronger, and easier to access. But how? Let's talk about that. Here are some real, practical things you can do to stop forgetting words, or at least to forget less often. First, use the word in many different ways. Don't just write it down once. Don't just read the definition. Say it. Say it again. Use it in a question. Use it in a joke. Make a story with it. The more you connect the word to real things in your life, the easier it becomes to remember. Second, practice speaking out loud every day. Even if you're alone. Even if you feel silly. Talk to yourself in English. Describe your room. Talk about your day. Pretend you're giving a weather report. Your mouth needs to practice moving in English. Your brain needs to connect ideas to sounds. And you don't need a partner. Just a few minutes and your voice. Third, visualize the word. Don't just memorize letters. See it in your mind. If you learn the word kitchen, imagine your kitchen. Imagine cooking in it. Hear the sounds, smell the food. Use your senses. That creates a stronger memory. Fourth, don't aim for fancy words. Fancy vocabulary is nice, but not necessary. Use simple, everyday language. If you forget enormous, say very big. If you forget delicious, say really good. Communication is about connection, not perfection. And if you forget a word while speaking, don't stop. Just describe it. Say, it's something you use too. It's kind of like, when you feel people will understand and you'll still be speaking, which is what matters. Now, let's talk about how to feel less ashamed when you forget, because I know that's a big part of this experience. When we forget words, we often feel embarrassed. We think people will laugh, or think we're stupid, or judge us. But here's the truth. Most people are kind. Most people are impressed that you're even trying to speak a second language. And honestly, most people don't care if you forget a word or two. And remember, every time you speak, even if you forget something, you're getting stronger. Your brain is building that memory. You're improving, even if it doesn't feel like it right away. Let me give you a few ways to change your mindset. Instead of thinking, I always forget, say, I'm learning to remember. Instead of thinking, I sound stupid, say, I'm doing something brave. Instead of thinking, everyone is better than me, say, I'm on my own journey. Your progress is not measured by how many mistakes you make, but by how many times you keep going. And now, I want to leave you with some small, daily habits. These are things you can do every day. They don't take much time, but they will absolutely help. You stop forgetting and start remembering more naturally. Habit 1, the 5-minute talk. Set a timer, pick a topic. Talk in English out loud for 5 minutes. Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry if you forget a word. Just talk. Habit 2, phrase of the day. Every morning, choose one small English phrase, something natural, like, I'll be right back, or, that makes sense. Use it a few times during the day, in writing, in speaking, in your head. Make it part of your life. Habit 3, story review. Take 5 words you learned last week and write a short story with them, or speak it, or both. The more you use words in context, the more your brain remembers. Habit 4, Shadowing. Choose a short video or podcast in English. Listen, pause, repeat the speaker's sentence exactly with the same rhythm and tone. This helps your memory, your pronunciation, and your confidence. Habit 5. Talk about forgetting. Tell someone, I forgot the word for underscore today, but I found another way to say it. This turns forgetting into a learning moment and even a little victory. So let's go back to the original question. Do you forget words when you speak English? Yes, great. That means you're learning. That means you're pushing your brain. That means you're trying, and that's something to be proud of. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to speak like a native. You just need to keep going. Keep trying. Keep expressing yourself, even with pauses, even with mistakes, even with missing words. Language is about connection, and you're doing that. Every time you open your mouth and speak English, even if it's slow, even if it's messy, you are building a bridge to someone else, and that is powerful. So keep speaking, keep smiling. And when you forget a word, laugh, describe it, say something else, and keep going. Because you're doing better than you think, and you're not alone. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope this episode helped you feel more hopeful, more confident, and more human. You've got this. See you next time.